Hey everyone, and welcome to episode 6 of our multiplayer chat series. In episode 5, we implemented map regions in the player controllers and the actual map level itself. In this episode, we will be implementing the map regions in the game state. So by the end of this episode, our trade and local chat will be fully functional, and each channel will be specific to a particular region in the map. So let's go ahead and get started. Open up the BPI chat system interface and add a new function called unwatch chat channel. This will be called by the player controller, so the controller can unregister itself as a listener of that channel. The first parameter will be channel of type our chat system channel enum. The second parameter will be map region, and the type will be our BPI map region that we added in the last episode. And the third and last parameter will be player controller, and you can just do the player controller base class that comes in the Unreal Engine itself right here, and make it a reference. Let's go ahead and add that to the chat system category, compile and save, and let's move on to our player controller. Open up your player controller and go to the event graph and look for this event set player map region that we added in our last episode. Go ahead and make this comment bigger, we'll need more space. And I'm going to rename this to map region entered/left. So, let me refer to my notes really quick. So when a player leaves or enters a map region, we need to actually do more than what we're doing here. So go ahead and break that node, and let's add a reroute node here. And let's move this way down here, right about there. We might have to move it later. So for now, open up these. Let's go ahead and grab our map region, get it, and let's cast to BPI map region right here. Okay, so if starting off just with my level setup, the map region is initially set to none. So what we need to do is, if the map region fails to cast, then what we are going to do is, let's get a reroute node down here. We're just going to go ahead and set the map region class variable. However, if we can cast this class variable to a BPI map region, that means that we just left a map region. So we need to do some extra cleanup work, like when we leave the map region, we need to unregister our player controller from the local and trade channel chat for that region we just left. So let's go ahead and we'll do that for if the cast succeeds, we will do that. So let's grab the chat system, get it, and let's call our new unwatch chat channel interface call. Connect up the execution pin and change the channel to trade, and use the map region right there. And player controller will be self. Get a reference to self. Okay, go ahead and copy this, paste it, connect that up like that, and connect up the execution pin, and change the channel to local. Now what we need to do, so these will unregister our player controller, so our player controller will not receive trade or local channel updates for the map regions we just left. What we need to do then is, for now, with the way everything is set up, we need to call push channel messages to client and just pass in a blank array and remove that array element. So if we don't do this, what will happen is when we leave a map region and trade or local chat is selected, we want to call the push channel messages to client, so it will clear out the chat box in the player won't think that they're still following the trade and local chat for that map region. And make sure you set the channel to local and trade. And let's go ahead and make this a little bit wider, and we will scoot this down. Make it a little bit wider again. Scoot it down, and drag off this execution pin and plug it in right there. So let's comment this and say we just left a map region, remove ourselves from local and trade chat for that region. So after we remove ourselves from the local and trade chat for that given region we just left, we still need to update our class variable region instance to the new map region we may have just entered. Go ahead and compile and save. And we shouldn't have to do anything in the chat graph. Everything we did in here last episode stays the same. So now let's go ahead and open up our game state. BP game state. And let me bring it over here. Okay, let's move these up. So don't forget, we need to implement our unwatch event that comes with our BPI chat system interface. Go ahead and let's see, I'm not sure if there's a duplicate. No, I don't think I want that. Okay, go ahead and create a new function called remove channel listener. We'll make that private and chat system category, and it needs 3 inputs. It needs the channel, which will be the channel enum, and it needs the map region, which will be of type BPI map region, and it needs the player controller, which will be of type it'll be of type player controller. Right there, reference, and remove that. And it won't have an output. So let's go ahead and go to our graph over here, click and drag that, and connect up these pins, just like that. And let's make sure it's behind a switch authority. Okay, that's done. So let's go ahead and jump into the next batch of updates. So let's close the remove channel listener for now. Let's go ahead and open up add channel message. So in this function, we need to start using the map region. So let's right click this map region that's in the break S channel and promote to local variable. Make sure it's local variable and not variable. And then we'll just call this region. And connect up the execution pins like that. Move this down. Okay. Select the find message channel and let's update the signature. So it accepts a new input parameter called map region, and the type will be BPI map region. And let's go ahead and drag the channel right there, and this will just get rid of excess line crossing, just like that. And then we can go ahead and uncheck the map region here. We don't need that. And don't forget, we need to update this. So when we create the S channel, we now need to specify a region. Okay, compile and save. And let's go ahead and double click find message channel to open up its definition. And in here, select is message channel created. Add a new parameter and call this map region. And connect up the parameter nodes. And compile and save. Open up is message channel created. And with this one, we do have a fair amount of work to do in here. go ahead and right click map region, promote to local variable, and we'll call this the region. And we'll set that after we set the channel. Okay. And let's go ahead and delete that return node, we won't need it. And bring this down here and we'll swap the order of these pins. Okay. So we'll go ahead and move this down. We'll give it a group comment and call this if the channel matches. Move it down a little bit more. And go ahead and break that pin. And then right click and promote to local variable. And we'll call this found channel. And connect it up like that. And right click array index and promote to local variable. And we'll call this channel index. It up. And then let's drag off the output pin for the set found channel and connect it to the break. Connect up the execution pin there. And let's see. The next thing we need to do is add a sequence. And we only need two then statements, or 2 pins. And for the top one, we'll have a group comment and we'll call this if the channel is trade or local. We need to match on map region as well. And this is going to be a pretty big comment. We need to make it a little bit larger. Go ahead and drag off the channel, get it, and do equal enum. And set that the second value to trade. Copy that, paste it, and set the second value to local. Just like that. Drag off this Boolean output and look for OR Boolean. Connect those up. Drag it all the way over here and do an AND Boolean. We will need a fair amount of space between these. And then let's drag off the map region interface right here, add a reroute node way over here, and we can go ahead and make sure it's straight. Oh, come on, there we go. Drag off the reroute node and call to object interface. What we need to do is drag off the object output pin and look for is valid. We're looking for the function right here, and connect that there. Add one more AND pin, and then grab the region, get it, and again call to object interface, and again call is valid, and connect up the pin right there. And we need one final AND pin. And next, what we need to do is we need to drag off the this pin and do equal object, and then compare it to the region object. Oop. And connect that as the fourth and last AND pin. And add a branch, hold down B, left click, connect up the condition, and the branch execution pin will be connected to then 0 on the sequence. And we can go ahead and move this up here. Just like that. And if true, we're going to return node. Okay, and drag the channel index, plug it in there. Drag the found channel, plug it in there. And the last sequence branch is more simpler than that. Let's go ahead and click and drag the channel, get it, and do equal enum, and leave it at global. Add a branch, connect it up there. Add a reroute node. Let me do a quick time check, 14 minutes, and drag off true and do return node. drag the channel index and found channel and plug them in. And you can go ahead and comment this: if the channel is global, go back, no need to match on map region. Okay, so let's go ahead and explain this. I'll explain this to you. So we iterate all of the channel messages array. So remember, the channel messages, it contains an array of channels. So now with the map regions, the channel messages array will no longer contain one structure with a channel type of local. It's going to contain multiple structures with a value of local or trade for the channel type, because now we have this extra map region filter at the structure level. So when we iterate this list of channel messages, we store the current array and array index that we are iterating in these two local variables to make things cleaner and easier to get later on. If the channel that is passed into this function right here, if it equals the channel that the current array item has, so if it equals global, or if it equals trade, or if it equals local, then we continue, and then we run this sequence branch here. And if the channel that was passed into this function, if it's trade or local, we need to check to see if the map region that's in the S channel structure, which we added to the structure in the last episode, we need to make sure that the regions match. So what we do first is we first cast the interface instance right here that's in the S channel structure that we are currently iterating. We cast it to an object, and we want to make sure if that object is valid. And then we do the same with the region that was passed into this function. We need to cast it to an object and make sure it's valid. If they are both valid, and if they are pointing to the same map region actor instance in the map, then we go ahead and we run this branch, and it returns the channel index and the found channel for the current channel, because they match. It uses the same channel and it's for the same region. However, for global chat, we don't limit global chat to a map region. That's why it's global. And so we say down here, there's a branch that says, okay, if it's global chat, just go ahead and return, if the channel is equal to global chat. Oh, hold on. I think there might be a bug with this. Let me double check. Oh, nope. Okay, this is fine. So I forgot about this branch back here. So if the channel passed into this function matches the channel that we are currently iterating, then we continue. Only then do we continue. And then down here we say, okay, if the channel that we're looking for is global, let's go ahead and return what we are currently matching on, because we don't need to match on region. So that's that function. It looks scary, but it's actually pretty simple. Let's go ahead and go back to add channel messages function. Go at the end of it, and let's go to the definition of notified channel updated. And in here, we need to right click the map region here, and we need to promote to local variable, and we'll call that the region. And we'll set that after we set channel. And down here, you see the map region. That's part of the chat system channel listener. Let's go ahead and pass those through. Currently in our player controller, as of the last episode, we are not using this property value in the player controller. But that's not to say that sometime in the future, as I get more of the chat box system built out, we won't be using it. We probably will be, but for now we're not. So let's see. We did those. Let me just quickly refer to my notes. Let's go ahead and go back to our chat system event graph and select the add channel listener and add a new pin. called map region of type BPI map region. We'll move it up as the second. And then connect these pins right there. And go ahead and open up Add Channel Listener. Right click map region here, promote to local variable, and we'll call it the region. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to switch these really quick. Like that. Move these down. Move those down some more. There we go. And then click and drag the channel, plug it in right there. Come on. Right there. Grab the region, plug it in as well. And let's go down this way. And we can remove the map region from the break. We do not need it. We do need to connect it up here. So let's grab the region, connect it up there. Compile and save. And that looks good. Let's go ahead and open up under Interfaces Chat System, Get Chat Channel Messages. Connect up the map regions there. Compile. And we can go ahead and uncheck map region from the break. And let's go ahead and open up Remove Channel Listener, and we will implement this now. So with this one, it's actually going to be pretty similar to Add Channel Listener. So let's go ahead and just copy all of this. It's going to be a lot simpler though. And we can, okay, paste it there, move it in line, connect it up. So unfortunately, I don't think it's a bug, but if I compile, it's not going to automatically create the local variables. So let's just right click, promote to variable, and call it the channel. And we'll just have to manually replace each of these local variable nodes like that. Do the same for the map region and the player controller. The region and execution pin, that. And we'll just call the player controller local variable player. Connect up the execution pin, delete those, and connect up new instances like that. Okay, go down here, and we have to do the same thing here. Right click, promote to local variable, message channel. Right click index, promote to local variable, channel index. Okay, and delete that getter, plug this in here. Same thing with the notify list, right click the player controller's output, promote to local variable, and call it notify list. And plug up the execution pin there, and here, plug up the outputs, and player, like that. So this time, we don't want to create the channel if it doesn't exist, because we're just calling remove channel listener, and we don't need to create a channel if it doesn't exist if this is called. It doesn't really make sense. So let's go ahead and delete that reroute, connect it up directly like that, and move this down like that. Remove player from existing channel. And instead of calling add, so first, let's see, player greater than -1, we're going to grab an instance of the player controller that we just created, and let's drag off this array and call remove item, and replace the add with the remove. So if the player index is greater than -1, we found it. So let's connect up the true, not the false. And let's see, replace this message channel with the new local. And same with the notify list, replace that with the new notify list local variable. And let's clean this up a little bit. Okay, channel index, use the new local variable as well. Okay, compile and save. Compile and save. And that should be that function. Let me double check. Okay, one last thing I'm going to do. This was bothering me lately. I need to go into the WB chat box message, and I'm going to change my text from black to white. There we go. Compile a save. Let's just double check everything really quick. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and play dedicated server and 3 players. And let's test this out. So, there we go. Okay, so I'll test out the global chat first. Okay, everyone received it. I'll take this player, go over into this map region. I'll go to local chat from house. Send it, I can see it. No one else can. If I bring him over into this house, nothing in trade. Oops, sorry about that. Nothing in trade, I can still see global, and I can read the local chat. Okay, let's take him outside of the map region, and you see that the local and trade chat clears out. If I bring him over here, which is my second map region, I'll go to trade and do trade from balcony. I'll just call this a balcony. And he can't see it, and I can do trade from house. And he can't see that either. But if I bring this other character over there, and the chat cleared out again, if I go to my trade chat, there it is. So that's this episode. We're right around 28 minutes. In the next episode, I'm not quite sure what I'm going to be doing actually. I'll probably implement some custom slash commands in the chat box, so you can type in slash trade and then a message, and it would send a message to the trade channel or whichever channel you have selected. So thanks for tuning in, subscribe, like, and I'll see you guys next time.